This may be my best villager breeder yet, and yes, I have built quite a lot of them in the past. This is my 5th iteration of this villager breeder, and it only gets better. This one is almost bug-free, and there's so many new features that I decided it's worth it to post another one, despite the fact that I've already posted one within the last month. It's just so worth it, otherwise I wouldn't be here. At this point, I think I can confidently say that this is one of the best villager breeders online. I think I can say that. I'm confident enough at this point. Now, before I even start this, a lot of players will ask, is it for Java or Bedrock Edition? I made this for Java, but I made the exact same copy for Bedrock, and luckily, it actually worked. Except for one module, just one module, and that is assigning professions to villagers. If you guys understand more about assigning professions in Bedrock Edition, feel free to leave some comments in the comment section down below. Teach me. This breeder combines several modules. The top module here is the farming module, where this bloke here will give food to this bloke here, or rather attempt to. This minecart with hopper will intercept the food and feed it to the villagers down here, where they will breed. This button here, if you press that, that sends a minecart to pick up the villagers from over here, and they will automatically be sent to one of these holding cells over here. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Before I talk about the holding cells, the cool thing about this villager breeder is that you do not need to actually move the villagers like 140 blocks away like some other villager breeders require you to, or move them to the nether. You don't. You can just keep them here. It's fine. And that is achieved by having these beds over here. Now, there is a limitation. Entity cramming, if I'm not mistaken, you can only have 24 mobs or villagers in one location, so that is the maximum over here. You can have 6 underneath, so grand total of around 30 villagers. Now, granted, you can move your villagers out to a much larger trading center out there in the yonder later on, which makes this pretty much an infinite villager breeder, but that's up to you. For me, 30 more than enough, but well, you can make a super massive one. It's up to you. It's Minecraft. Another upgrade compared to the last villager breeder is that you no longer hear the unending clicks non-stop from the redstone machine. This time, it will only send food and make noise if you have more than 41 carrots in here. Observe, as I put in carrots, it's gonna put them out, right? So they're giving it to the villagers now. As you can see, as soon as this number hits 41, which is, we're almost there, and stop. 41, and it stops. No more noise. That's just brilliant. Quick credit to Jonas, by the way, for DMing me and giving me that circuit. That just saved me from insanity. Do check out his YouTube channel as well. Right, again, the third and final module here is these holding cells. So you click that button, it sends a minecart out, grabs a villager, drops them down at one of these holding cells right here, where you can give them a profession. And, well, more importantly, there's actually a 4th module, which is this zombie in a minecart, which unbelievably is the simplest solution to actually getting villagers to turn into zombies and then back to villagers. Minimum effort. It's just so easy. I can't believe I didn't use this system before. I apologize for the last video where if you try and send out a villager, it'll grab the zombie often. This one is just so much better. I'll show you how it works. Now, just a quick reminder, try and not skip the video when you watch this, because I want to show everything first, why it's awesome, and then the steps that we're going to do in this tutorial. It's important to follow step by step. Why? If you skip one of the steps and like overlap and do the other one first, you're going to get into a nightmare. And I'm not just saying that so that you watch the full video, just because like it keeps happening when people watch my videos. They skip, they screw up, and then they blame me for it, which drives me nuts. But anyway, if you're not familiar with zombie power trading, it's basically turning your villagers into a zombie villager, back into a villager, to a zombie villager again, and then back into a villager. You'll get maximum trade discounts when you do it that way, and I'll show you how to do it as well, but for now, I've actually already done that on all of these 6 villagers. Now let's go check out the discounts. Flick this piston up, place my profession table, and amazing. 1 emerald for 1 bookshelf. The base price is 9, with 1 curing process, it's 3 emeralds. Double curing process, it's 1 emerald. Let's see for enchants real quick. Let's see what we get. 1 emerald and 1 book to get an enchant. And this can work for pretty much any enchant. Those are insane discounts. Another advantage of this villager breeder is, well, the accuracy of actually assigning a profession to a villager. If you did not have a good setup like this, for example, if I put this in here now, does he get the profession? No, he does not. We don't know who actually got the profession. Oh, the guy next to it did. Why? Because he can actually pathfind towards that villager. Now, we actually made a solution for this. It's fairly simple, and I saw it on someone's YouTube channel. I will put credits down below. All you gotta do is flick this switch up, and you've got this piston going up, and then you place your table here, and no other villager can grab this profession. Super brilliant. This is just so compact and so useful. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you the process of actually grabbing a villager to a holding cell as well before we do the tutorial. But to do so, I need to remove one of the villagers. Now, there's two ways that I can do this. Now, the first method is by sending them out on a minecart, and you can do this for various reasons. For example, maybe you want to send them to a faraway or a different trading hall. All you got to do here is press this button. Just stand on the left side of the wall, all right? If you stand on the right, you're going to block the minecart. So press this, right? You press it. He gets sent out, and then he's going to move towards that direction, therefore taking him out of the picture. And well, that's method number one. And method number two is even better. If you don't need a villager anymore, or if you don't like the trades, you just kill them. And yes, normally this would result in other villagers giving you bad trades, but not this time. As an experiment, I've given this guy here a trade. As you can see right now, the values are good. Now let's go kill that villager on the other side and see if it impacts the value of the traits on that other villager. Remember, if you don't have a setup like this, you kill a villager, you have to use lava. Or send him away and then use lava. If you just whack him, it's gonna give you bad traits, and the whole zombie process is a waste. So, sword time, and let's just whack him, and he should be dead in a few hits. Okay, he's dead. Let's go to the other villager and see if he still gives us favorable discounts, and voila. It works like a charm. Last bit of the demo, I'm going to show you how to send a villager into these holding cells. Pretty easy. I've set it up in a way that you only need to flick this switch over here. You'll know that it's active by seeing this trapdoor going up. That is purely cosmetics, by the way, but it's also useful to make sure the villagers don't actually move out from this holding cell. So again, you flick that switch up, and then all you got to do is send the villager. So I'm going to turn around and find the button. I'm going to click on this. Watch as the minecart carries that villager over to that side, and then he gets let go on that block above. That's fine. He's eventually going to walk down by himself and go in. Oh, there he is. Perfect. Now go back inside and make sure you turn the lever off so that you don't send another villager in there. Now do the same thing here. Turn it on. Send another villager over, and okay, there he goes. All right, he gets released over there. Minecart gets sent back into the hopper, which is brilliant as well. So really no fuss system, and now all we got to do is wait for him to go down. Down he goes. Time for the final module, the fourth one, turning the villagers into zombie villagers. And there's major upgrades on this one. If you recall on previous videos or maybe on other systems, you'll have to do it one by one at a time, and that takes a painstakingly long time, to be honest. But with this system, you can do all 6 villagers at the same time. That saves you time, and also it saves you materials. I'll show you why in a second. The zombie is called Why Only 3% Subbed, because that's the amount of people that are subbed to my channel. I don't know why. I think my content is alright, but subscribing is free, so do help out, bro, and do consider subscribing and turn on those notifications if you like cool videos. Here's how it works. All you gotta do is actually push the zombie in a minecart. I don't know why I didn't use this solution before. That last video I did was way too complicated and buggy. Now, they do hit hard, by the way. If I go to survival mode and watch, I'm wearing iron armor here, so that's quite a bit of damage. You'll want to put your shield up, and then just push it slowly just in front of the villager, like so. Just a little bit more, and okay, that's enough. That's enough. I'm gonna back out now. Okay, stop whacking me. Great, okay. Now, here's the cool bit. You won't actually get zombies hitting your villagers by accident. And the reason why this happens is that the zombie is actually aggroed to you. He's looking at you and he wants to hit you. And zombies, I believe, have a 25 block range for actually being aggroed. So what happens here is if I move around 25 blocks away, he'll start to not notice me anymore, and then he'll start hitting that villager behind him. So watch as I move back. Okay, 2 whacks. It should take about 6 whacks or so, and done. All right, okay. He's now a zombie villager. Great, so we have 1 done. Let's just do it to 2 more villagers real quick. Put your shield up, push him over, and hang on. I know it's a bit slow. There's a reason why we actually did it that way. I'll explain later. Everything will be explained in time, in the right order. Okay, so we leave him here. Okay, we're far enough. He's whacking the villager, and that's done. I'm gonna do this to 3 villagers because I want to show you an example of something. He's working on the last one, and that means we have 3 zombified villagers. And okay, I'll show you why this saves you some resources. Again, the cool thing here is as long as you're in aggro range, he won't accidentally hit a villager that you've already cured. So once you're done with the zombie process, all you gotta do is just move this zombie in a cart all the way to the corner somewhere over there and make sure he doesn't cause you any trouble. Right, you stay there in the corner. I got a demo to do. Keep one thing in mind. You can't actually go too far away from a zombie villager, otherwise it despawns. So I pushed that cart to the left and I ended up having that zombie villager despawn, which kind of sucks. So what you can do is you should have pushed him to the right side instead. Just to speed things up, we'll just put a zombie villager egg right there. And I'm going to show you the curing process and where the savings is. So since these 3 zombie villagers are all close to each other, all you got to do is throw the splash potion of weakness in the middle like this. And all 3 zombie villagers will be affected, meaning you can actually only use 1 splash potion and cure 3 zombie villagers at the same time. Perfect. Now it's gonna take a while, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, so just take a quick break. Don't move away. If you move too far, again, they will despawn. Regular villagers will not despawn, but zombie villagers will despawn if you move away from them. So that is the demo of how things work. I hope you're convinced. Now let's talk about the materials that you'll need for this build. I'm not actually gonna give you precise numbers. I know some people want that, but yeah, well, okay, I'll try. You'll need blocks. A lot of blocks. You'll need glass blocks. A lot of glass blocks. You'll need beds. Around 35. You'll need around 5 to 8 trapdoors. You'll need 1 redstone comparator and 3 redstone dust. You'll need 6 hoppers, 1 sand, 1 cactus, lots of rails, lots of powered rails, lots of activator rails. Now you'll need 7 dispensers to make a build exactly like this, but to be honest, you can just use 1 or 2. I mean, you don't need these modules down here, or you can have only 1 module, or you can have 20 modules. It's up to you. But this is my example, and for this you'll need 7. You'll also need a lot of levers, a lot, so just prepare a lot. It's basically an iron build. But the good news here is you don't need any sticky pistons, which is quite hard to acquire early game, so yeah, you don't need any of that. Very iron-centric build. 1 minecart with hopper, 1 composter, and you'll probably need a lot of carrots. Try and get as many as you can, maybe 10 stacks, 20 stacks, farm them yourself. That will make the process go a lot faster, believe me. Okay, with that said, let's start the actual tutorial. Yes, I had to make that intro long. It just made sense. Otherwise, it'd be like, is this any good? Is it worth building? All right, enough. Let's go. It's also important to build this fairly far away from a village. 75 to 100 blocks should be good. Depending on which direction you're facing, I would sort of recommend that when you're building this, if we're facing from the front side, you should face negative X. And if you face your right, that's negative Z. This will help with the rail placement, but otherwise it's okay. The land area that you'll need to build this is 22 blocks long and 7 blocks wide. Let's start by building up 3 blocks high like so. 7 blocks to this side like so. Add the pillars underneath. 22 blocks going this way. And then add 22 blocks on this side as well. Add the pillars underneath, connect these sides over here and add pillars underneath as well. This is your basic structure. Now go up 2 blocks on each corner, 2 more here and 2 more here, and then connect them as well. Next, 4 blocks on each corner, and connect them as well. Finally, go 3 blocks high on this side here and connect them. And now you basically have your basic shape. Now, this roof here is completely optional. You can design this any way that you like, but more on that later. Okay, now keep in mind that you can't flip this building around, okay? So if the breeder is on this side, it has to be on this side. At the right side if you're facing from the front. Don't flip it around or you're gonna screw the build. Why? We're using activator rails here. Activator rails always throw villagers or entities out to the right side. So if you mirror this build, it's gonna screw things up. So please don't do that. You don't actually need to replace the grass here, but for aesthetics, I'm just gonna change it to some other block. And by some other block, I decided to use netherites. I mean, yeah, when else can you do that? Anyway, well, it provides a nice grid, which makes it easy to use for tutorials. That's my excuse, but yeah. Next step. This is the most annoying bit, but also the most important, and you should do it first. It is grabbing this zombie in a minecart, which is actually not too hard. I'll show you how. But before we even do that, we're gonna place these rail tracks first. But you actually have to place these tracks first before you actually do these tracks. Otherwise, they're gonna connect in a different way. It's gonna be a little bit annoying. Depending on which direction you're facing, I would sort of recommend that when you're building this, if we're facing from the front side, you should face -X. And if you face your right, that's -Z. This will help with the rail placement, but otherwise it's okay. The only reason I'm mentioning that is, well, if you place, for example, a setup like this, okay? This is the L that you have here. If you placed that first and then you place your other rails after, see what happens. It connects like that. That's why you should build the zombie rail first before doing the L rails over there. And again, this applies if you are facing -X and -Z on that side. But to be honest, if it just screws up little on that bit, you can figure it out. Just try and dismantle and put things back. You can't build an ultimate solution for everything in Minecraft. But anyway, here goes nothing. Okay, first things first, place a glass block on each side, one over there and one over on this side. You'll want to put one block here so the zombie doesn't get burned if he's in that corner. Right, just to get your bearings right, we are behind the building and this is how you should build. 2 powered rails, 2 regular ones, 1 powered rail, 2 regular, 1 powered, 2 regular, 1 powered, 2 regular, 1 powered rail, 2 regular, 1 powered rail, 2 regular ones, and then finally 1 powered rail at the corner. So why do we have powered rails that aren't actually ever going to be powered? Now there's an interesting mechanism. They actually slow down the cart. So for example, if I push an empty cart, if it hits a powered rail, it'll stop. I'll push again and let's observe where it stops at the powered rail. So very important mechanism. Right, so here's how we trap the zombie. First of all, just set up a little rail cart going just out into the wilderness a little bit. Like something like this would be fine. The next thing you want to do is place some blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now for these blocks, you'll want them to be glass so that a minecart can go through it. Important thing for this build, by the way, if I use glass, you use glass. Don't switch them around or things might get screwed. Okay, you should do this at midnight, folks, because, well, on daytime, zombies don't spawn. And all you gotta do is just try and lure them into this area. And what you do is you just place a block. Okay, that didn't work. Wait, I need to go up and, well, ouch, that hurts. Okay, we're gonna try again now. We're gonna try again. Okay, just one more whack. Okay, he's in. It's as simple as that. And then all you gotta do is, well, just get some momentum by just retracting further back a little bit. And then all you gotta do is grab your minecart out and give it a good push. Make sure it has some momentum and the zombie will be pushed inside. Watch how he just keeps on gliding and then he stops at the powered rail. Very impressive. Okay, let's just put that glass block back here so that he doesn't go anywhere. Now we're gonna go to the front side of the structure and we're gonna start building these modules over here. There's 6 modules in total. Fairly simple, show you how. So I decided to actually count the materials for this bit. I hope it'll make things easier for you guys. You'll need a lot of blocks, as usual. I'm not going to count the blocks, but other than that, 12 glass, 6 rail, 6 pistons, 12 levers, 6 dispensers, 6 buttons, and 20 powered rail. Let's go. Okay, we're facing from the front of the building, and what we do here is we'll just build blocks like so. It's going to be 5 blocks wide, except the last block down here will be a dispenser. And then you're going to place a powered rail over here, and regular rail over here. Now, again, you might not even need this. This is to move the villagers out later should you want to. Optional, but let's just keep it there. Trapdoor you'll want to place over here. You'll want to place a button over here. This will activate the dispenser. You'll want to put in minecarts in here later if you want. We're gonna seal off the top bit as well, so that's the same width, and extend it 2 blocks, and that makes 1 module. Replace this block here in front with a piston facing upwards, and then place a lever next to it, and then you'll want to place 1 more lever right up here, so above the trapdoor. Test that out, that's on. Okay, test this out. Okay, everything is working perfectly. That's 1 module almost done. All we gotta do is place a piece of glass over here, and then 1 more piece of glass up here. And that's it. That is 1 module. This L shape here, this 3x3 is 1 module. All you gotta do is copy it all the way to that side. I'll just do 1 more, and then we can copy the rest. It's much easier when you have 1 module, because now all you gotta do is copy paste. So again, 5 blocks sideways. Like so, dispenser at the bottom, powered rail, powered rail, powered rail, powered rail, and then regular rail in the corner, piston on this side, cover up the top bits with blocks extending 2 blocks away from that wall, trapdoor over here, button on that side, lever right above the trapdoor, and then another lever right behind the piston. Again, lastly, a glass block in that corner and in this corner. Okay, so that's 2 modules. Let's just repeat this 6 times off camera. You know what? I skipped some parts on my last video where I thought people would just get it, and I got complaints, so we're not skipping this, but we're gonna time lapse it and no face cam. Let's go. Okay, we've done all 6 modules, and now all we gotta do is wall up the last module, and we do that simply by just placing blocks like so, 3 blocks high all the way to the corner. Okay, all 6 modules done. Oh, wait a sec. 1 glass here, 1 glass there, and 1 here and there. Great, now that's done. Let's just close this off. No point to that, but just so it looks exactly like that building. Now that the front bit is done, just go behind it. We just gotta do a little bit of roofing just to make sure that this zombie doesn't get burned up. So what I like to do, and this is for aesthetics as well, is place trap doors on these sides, and wherever there's a villager, you put a slab instead. So we'll place more trapdoors here. Now the reason I don't use a trapdoor here, although it actually works, is that it interferes with this. As soon as you press that, this opens up. A slab, however, will not open up. Okay, just continue the same thing all the way. Trapdoors wherever there are no openings, like so, and then finally slabs in front of the villager holes. Okay, we only got a few more, and okay, that's done. That's how it should look like. Let's go to the side of the building and just break these blocks for now. It'll give us more visibility because we need to work quite delicately on this bit. First of all, grab a dispenser and place it over here, facing forwards. Add a block over here. By the way, you don't need to use quartz, just use normal blocks. They just look good. And next, you'll want to place glass right in the middle of the building, so that should be right over here. And then you'll need 1 more diagonally above it over here. Then break the glass underneath it like so. Time to grab some powered rails, like so, and like so, and like so. Do this part first before you actually add rails from underneath. As you can see, this will result in the rails going up here, and then somehow they will magically grab the villagers, which will eventually be standing on this block over here. Next, we actually want to break the blocks that are over here. We need better visibility of the villagers, so let's just do that real quick. Okay, these blocks have been broken. Now we know the slots where the villagers will fall into. Now before we make our villager holding cell, let's continue with the rail tracks. You'll need 6 activator rails for this bit here. So start by making a U-turn here with regular rails and continue on towards this direction. And you'll want your first activator rail right here. The activator rails will always be placed next to these villager holding spots. So yeah, where I'm standing right now, that is the holding spot. To make things simple, let's just place the activator rails first. So one here, one here, one over here, one over here, and one over here. For the remaining slots, you'll just want to fill it up with powered rails. You might not have to, but well, I think it's safer that way. Now grab your levers and activate the powered rails. Do not activate the activator ones, not this one, okay? So the one with the gold lining, you'll want to activate that. One lever should be enough for each. So that's number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and finally number 6. Grab your regular rails and then just make a turn to this corner over here. Add a block on the corner so that the rail cart can go towards that direction. And then finally use powered rails towards this side all the way to somewhere over here. No, actually just until here. So that's 5 blocks away from this dispenser. We are doing the hard bits first, but it gets better and easier afterwards. Yeah. As long as we get these bits done, it's just smooth sailing. Now it's time to grab some hoppers and shift click your hoppers into this dispenser. Shift click so that that thing there faces into that dispenser. Put one more and then one more over here, and then you'll want to break this block above it, and then again shift click and place a hopper facing into the one underneath, and then place one more on this side over here. This is to ensure that the minecart always gets caught. Place one cactus on top of this hopper. You gotta shift click so that you don't actually open the hopper, and then place the cactus over here and then break this block here. Place one block over here and then place your powered rails all the way up to here. Now grab your levers and just power this up somewhere in the middle. Make sure it goes all the way to the corner. Yeah, that should be okay. Now that this is powered, we also gotta power the ones over here. All you gotta do is just place one here. That should power this side. Place one more here and that should power these set of rails. Check that everything is powered. And now I think we can give this a spin. Put a button down here. You can place it up here as well, up to you. And let's just go press that. And as you can see, the minecart goes out, turns around, and then it'll go into the dispenser again. That's kind of satisfying. I need a little break, so I'm going to try and do this with like 6 of them. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, so everything seems to be working fine. Okay, rail bit is done. I hope you're happy about that. Right, okay, so I'm back from my break. Not that any of you might care, but yeah, breaks are important. Even when you're doing this, take some breaks. Now, okay. Designing this whole thing took around 12 hours, to be honest, and then I had to redo it in Bedrock Edition as well to make sure everything works. So this is really fine-tuned. If you follow the steps carefully, it should work out. Next, pardon me, but we gotta break this rail temporarily because it's time to place trap doors. So we're gonna place one over here, flip it up, one over here and flip it up, another one over here and flip it up, and finally a fourth one over here and flip it up. And then we'll place one more in front like so, and then one more over here, and you don't need any at the back. Place a solid block here and a solid block here, and then extend this 2 blocks to this side, and then you'll want to extend this 1 block upwards like so. And finally, you'll want one more block over here. Now this here is going to be for your redstone components. You can now break these 2 blocks again. Grab your powered rail and put it back here. Okay, now it's time to set up this floor for the beds. This is going to be the exciting part, getting your villagers to sort of breed. By the way, soon we're going to place villagers in here. There's a whole video about how to place villagers into tight spots. I'll link it to you on the video description, or just search for Masbro moving villagers. You'll find my video. It's going to be too long if I explain how to do that here. Secondly, if you are doing this for Bedrock, you'll want to skip the bits where you put villagers here for now, and just go to the top layer and place your farmer villager first, and make sure he acquires the farmer profession. for Bedrock players. Please remember that. Otherwise, Java players, just continue along with this tutorial. So I have 3 types of glass here. You only need 1, but I'm using 3 just to make things easier. And if you're wondering why I'm looking that way all the time, is I'm copying my build here, because yeah, it's a bit hard without doing that. First of all, fill in this entire row with glass like so. Add 1 more glass on this side over here. Okay, that's done, right? So we'll leave that side for now, okay? Because it's easier if we work from the other side towards this one. So we're at the other side of the build, right? So actually, you'll just want to fill in glass blocks all the way, 3 columns at a time like so. But you actually do not want to fill in the block where the villagers will fall. So this block here, you don't want to fill. In my testing, if I had this block filled, the villager will have problems falling down into that slot. So this is how we do it. So repeat these steps. And the reason I'm doing it in colors is because we're repeating this pattern here, where we leave 1 block empty in the middle, like so. Again, you have a block empty here. Next, we do the same with the blue one again, like so. And whoops. Okay. See, block empty there. Back to red. Fill that, oops, in, and then leave that block empty, and finally a full column over here, and then do the same thing for the blue one as well, all the way there, 1 block empty, and okay. Now, as you can see, they're all the exact same shape. It's a pattern, and that's why I use different blocks. Now, finally, we're going to do red again, but this one is just slightly different just because we have these rails here. If you place blocks on top of them, the minecart will get stuck. So this is how we do it. Since we already have a hopper here, we don't replace it with glass, obviously. And then you add the glass block here, here, over here again. You keep this one empty since that is above that hole. And then you'll add more on this side. Add more, add more, add more, but leave this corner block empty. Do not fill this one. Leave this empty. All right, that wasn't so hard, right? So that bit is done. Now it's time for placing the beds. Due to entity cramming, you actually don't need too many beds, right? So you can only fill in, I think 24 is the max limit for entity cramming. Anything above that and the mobs die. But since you can actually send some of the villagers down to these breeding stations, technically you can have, well, 30 beds. 24 up here and then 6 down below. As soon as you send some out, they can breed more here. This is how I like to lay down my beds. We'll just make a little circle over here. Looks like a nice umbrella. We'll do the same. I'm just going to do the blue ones first so I don't have to switch out my inventory. Okay, blue ones here as well. I hope you guys don't get dizzy from this. And then we'll fill in the top bits with beds as well. 1, 2, 3. Again here, 1, 2, 3. And we'll start doing the red ones. Same pattern as well. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. 3, 4. Fill in the tops on this side, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're getting closer and closer to completion. Okay, now this is an important step. Let me just go back to my first villager breeder and read this out for you. First of all, it's really important that you actually put 3 to 4 villagers in here and make sure they breed. What I mean by that is you put them in, right? And then you give them food manually. And make sure they breed. Make sure they actually, the heart sign pop up and then they make an offspring. The reason being is that villagers are just so unpredictable. Sometimes I put in 2, they just don't breed. Sometimes I put in 2, they breed right away. It's Minecraft. It's just how it is. So what I would do is put in 3 to 4. If they don't breed, then just kill them off. Put in another 3 to 4 and hopefully they'll breed. If not, then just rinse and repeat. Eventually, I guarantee you, they will breed. It shouldn't take you so many tries. First try should work for most people, but I noticed sometimes it does not. That's why I'm just reminding you guys that you should do that first. Why am I reminding you this now and not later? And this is also why I said don't skip the video, is because, well, if you already placed the whole contraption up above and it turns out you have 2 villagers that don't want to breed, well, you're sort of screwed. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to place 4 villagers over here. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, not supposed to go there, buddy. Okay, there's 1 baby villager in there. That should be fine. Okay, so we have 3 villagers and 1 baby villager. That should be fine. So this is the test phase. This is what you should do. Grab a lot of carrots. Grab a lot of carrots. I'd say maybe 4 stacks or 5 stacks should be good, and what you'll want to do is just throw it at them. A villager will breed based on several conditions. If I remember right, well, they need to have access to a bed, and they need to see that there are more beds that are empty so that breeding makes sense. And then they also need to have enough food. Now, how do you know if they have enough food? Well, if they're still picking up the food and there's none left on the floor, that means their inventories are not full yet. So I'm gonna grab some more and just give them even more food. So that's 10 stacks so far, and their inventories are still not full. Oh, okay, it's working. Great. I was about to give them more. So this is what you want to see. If you see that it's working at this point, you can be confident that you can continue to the next step, all right? So very important step. That looks pretty creepy, to be honest. Now it's time to do the wonderful redstone components. You'll need to place a temporary block up here so that you can go down below and make a dispenser facing downwards. It should, well, it's hard to see from here, but if you crouch and shift click on this bit, it should face downwards so that it throws the food down. Now we can break these 2 blocks again. Now there's 2 ways you can do this redstone. If you're feeling lazy, this is what you can do. You can quite simply place 2 observers facing each other like so, and you can hear that crazy ticking noise that always drives me nuts, like literally, but it's the easiest contraption. You put in something here and it'll get thrown out. Like for example, if I put in rotten flesh, well, that rotten flesh is getting thrown out, but that's not good for the villagers, isn't it? This is driving me crazy already, so none of that. So again, credits to Jonas for teaching me this awesome contraption that will not drive you crazy. So it's fairly simple, okay? So you need a shape like this. Grab your comparator, and then you'll want to place it on this side here, and you'll want it to face outwards like so, and then you'll want to right click here, which is subtract mode, and then put redstone dust. 1, 2, and 3. It's that simple. Now here's how it works. As long as there are, well, if there's only a few items inside, it's not going to send anything out. To be precise, at 41 carrots, it will not send anything out, but as soon as you put in a few more carrots, let's say we put in 5 more, it'll send it out. As you can see, it's sending it out, and once it hits 41, it stops. So no noise. Woo! I love that. I absolutely love that. Just one thing to note is that if you put in too many carrots at the same time, the machine will stop. Like for example, if I do this, it gets stuck. This is a redstone signal thing, and I'm no redstone wizard, so apparently the signal strength is too strong and it just doesn't do it. If you accidentally do that, and the only way for you to accidentally do that is by manually putting stuff in, this will not happen, for example, from the villagers above, the farmer villagers over there sending food down. They will never suddenly put in so many stacks that the machine breaks. Won't happen. So when it breaks like this because you put too many in, it's very simple to fix. All you gotta do is flick this switch twice, off and on, and it'll start working again. Perfect. Now there's one thing useful about this system as well. If you already have too many villagers and you decide you actually want this thing to farm crops, what you can do is you can actually flick this switch and it'll actually hold your carrots for you up to a certain amount. Not until the full 9 stacks, but it'll hold like 7 full stacks or so for you. So it's actually a useful crop farm as well. So many things in one build. Amazing. Anyway, let's get that working again. Let's let them get fed, and I'll just move away because I still can't stand that sound. Oh, they're mating again. They're mating again. It's working. It's working. Okay, it finally stopped, so now I'm going to continue building. Now count 3 blocks from that corner. 1, 2, 3. And start building your grass blocks here. Well, dirt blocks rather, and then we'll till them and we'll start planting. Just do this all the way to that corner. And then you'll want to place a composter right in the middle of this area. So the easiest way to do that is just to build blocks at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has to be precise, by the way, otherwise it'll lower your efficiency. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that here is the block where we'll place water. And please, 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 please be very careful about this step. When I was doing this build the first time on my previous video, and as well as on this video, I screwed this up by spilling water all the way down and ruining all my rails and my redstone components. That is so frustrating. So please pay extra attention on this step here. Would be totally funny if I screw up again. Okay, so slab and water. Okay. Alright, okay, next thing we want to do is grab stairs, and we're gonna place water here so that the soil on this part also gets watered. Place water carefully on the corner here, and then go all the way to this side here, and we'll want to do the same on these sides. So that's blocks number 1, 2, and 3. This one here you break and then just shift click like that. You'll have that little spot. Very carefully place your water in here. Okay, that's fine. And do the same thing on the other side here. Shift click onto the corner. Place your water very carefully, and alright, I managed to do that without screwing my entire build. Next, we need to cover the entire sides with glass, and I'll just do that real quick. We'll also want to fill in the back bits here with glass as well. Next, you'll want to grab a hopper, and what you'll want to do is shift click into this from the side like so that this is facing into that, and then shift click on top of this hopper so that the second hopper is directing towards the previous one. Now, we need to place a rail track here sideways. We have to shift click, and that should work. But if for some reason your rail track is facing the other way around, then you might just have to, for example, place one rail track here first and then place one more here. This applies especially to Bedrock Edition because sometimes you can't control which direction the rail cart will be placed by default. Now place a glass block here and a glass block here, and then you'll want to seal off this area here. So place glass and glass and glass and glass and glass. And might as well place glass here and here as well. Now we don't want any of our villagers, including the farmer villager, falling down, so we're gonna seal off this area as well. You might ask, why did I not just put soil there? The farmer will actually not work beyond this point here, so there's no point at all. So we'll just leave that sort of empty. Finally, we're gonna place our minecart with hopper right here. And the beauty of it is that it won't move, even if you try and push it, because it can only move sideways, which is absolutely as intended. Okay, now for Java Edition, I recommend just putting a trapdoor up here, but for Bedrock, perhaps try to use a slab. Because when I was using a trapdoor, the villagers between these two sides, they tried to breed. Maybe it's a Bedrock thing. I don't even know if the slab solves it, but for Java, a trapdoor will do, so that's what I'm gonna do here. Next, we're gonna want to place a composter here. We'll do that by placing a temporary block and then placing the composter like so. Remove this block, and okay, that bit's done. You'll want to place perhaps a slab on top of this so that, why? Well, you know, the villager might just jump up here, jump back down, and ruin the soil around it, and that's why we have this slab over here. Sort of useful. Okay, next we want to grab a villager. Again, you can use my video to figure out how to get a villager up here, but you'll want to get the villager here first so that he grabs the farmer profession. Again, if you're on Bedrock, before you even do this bit here, before you do that, do the farmer bit first. Otherwise, it's going to be so hard for him to actually grab that farmer profession. It's just so hard in Bedrock. I really want to be a Bedrock player. I just wish they would fix these things. Anyway, next you'll want to get one more villager onto this side here, which will be the receiving villager. And we're almost done. Right, time to grab my favorite golden hoe. We'll till the soil and then we'll start farming. Time to plant the carrots. Okay, that's done. The carrots will grow. Once they fully grow, this farmer will harvest them and then give it to that villager. He will only give it once his inventory is full, so if you have extra carrots laying around, to quicken this process, you might want to give it to that farmer. Now, yeah, I guess a good precursor to actually doing this would be to have a massive carrot farm. That would be good. That would really help out and make things, well, running faster. But anyway, believe me, as soon as the ball starts rolling here, it just keeps rolling, but it starts slow. It's the same for every villager breeder, so this is not an exclusive thing to this one here. Now, important thing to note is that villagers will only work during certain times of day. That is a little bit after you wake up from bed in Minecraft, and just after the sun passes that middle bit there. As soon as it goes up here and passes a little bit, they'll stop working. Okay, so that means they won't harvest and they won't give food. So keep that in mind. The same goes for when you're trying to lock in professions for your villagers. It'll only work during their work hours. They will not let go of a profession, nor will they acquire a new one when it's not work hours. Okay, we're almost done. We just need to roof this up. I mean, you can just use a slab. Slabs are good because no hostile mobs can spawn on slabs, or you can decorate like this one here. I like the way that looks, very industrial and modern. Do it any way you want. Obviously, these sea lanterns are expensive. You should just use torches, that's fine. But just make sure everything is lit up properly so you don't have hostile mobs killing your precious villagers. It's a nightmare to put them back there. Now, I'm not gonna light my place up, by the way, just because, well, it's not a hard thing to do. Just put lots of torches everywhere, okay? So lots of torches. You get the point. Lots of torches. I'm actually waiting for a Champions League match, so I've got time to spare, so I'm just gonna decorate it the same way. I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, I'm done. By the way, I'm gonna make these worlds available for download. You guys suggested that, and well, okay, great idea, so I agree. You can find the world download on the video description. Now just make sure that you click skip ad when you see that page. Yeah, on the top right, there's a skip ad, click that, and then afterwards, you can download it. Just don't click any ads, don't allow notifications, don't download bad stuff, alright? I mean, you're a Minecraft player, I'm sure you're used to how this works already. Okay, one very last step to ensure that everything runs smoothly. Go into each of these villager holding rooms like so, and then place glass blocks on the side all the way to the top like so, and do the same thing on the other side. As you can see, there's no other place for the villager to go. If these blocks did not exist, a villager could jump to this side, to that side, and so on. So place 2 here and place 2 over here. You don't need to place any on the other side. Now we'll go to the other room and repeat that process. Now, okay, again, 1, 2, and then again here, 1 and 2. Right, next room, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Next room again, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. I sound like a gym instructor, but yeah, 1 2 1 2, and that's done. Let's go test this system out. I'm fairly nervous and excited at the same time because when you do these things, you're bound to do a few things wrong. I did some off camera, but luckily nothing affected this tutorial. But yeah, okay, I think we have things sorted. Let's give it a try. Number 1, shift click underneath, right click to activate, click on that button, cart gets sent out. Villager should be up here somewhere. Wait, we'll have a look. Yes, he's over there. He's gonna drop down, but we have to wait. You should not send another. Okay, he dropped down already. That's great. Now we just need to deactivate that thing there. If I can get the right angle. No, I can't. No, it's not gonna let me press that, isn't he? Right, so I'll deactivate it from the other side. That's fine. Okay, number 2, and we'll send that one over. I'll do this live without cuts just to prove that things are working. So that's villager number 2. He's already up there. He will fall in a second. I think I'll flick the switch before he falls just to make my life easier. Oh, okay, he's down, great. Next bit here, just believe me, there's no cuts. Okay, there we go, and villager number, wait, did I switch that one off? Okay, that one's off. Again, a good indicator is if you don't see this flap going up, you know that it's not active, so we should have a villager over there, great, and the minecart always goes back in there. We just gotta wait till he jumps down, but I'll just close that up first. Okay, he jumped down, great, we can do the next one. Flick the switch. How many villagers do I have left? Oh, guys, I only have 2 villagers left and a baby, so we're not gonna send any more, okay? Because these are the last hope of humanity. They need to breed, okay? So it's just these 3 guys. Let's get the zombie thing and yeah, prove that the system is working. Admittedly, I'm gonna be a complete pansy and just wear full netherite armor doing this. It's not necessary. Iron gear, you can do it. Just make sure you have a shield, that's what's important, but I'm gonna go overkill and wear a totem of undying on my offhand. Okay, so we're gonna push this. Let's see how much damage he does to us. Well, in netherite armor, you can't feel it, but anyway, we're gonna push him over to the first villager, and again, you gotta give them some space, so we move away. Move away. Okay, he's doing his thing now. And first one done. Yeah, you have some fun over there, and I'll just leave you guys to it again. And that should be... No. Oh, okay, as soon as I move in, he stops attacking the guy. But now it worked. Okay, great. By the way, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to lock in professions and get the best possible trades. That's the last thing that I want to show you on this video. Oh, that zombie despawned. Okay, so don't go too far for too long. Okay, I need to figure this out. Okay, I think a better way to do this, I think, would be to just go out of the zombie's line of sight by using blocks. Let's see if that works. Okay, it's working. Alright, okay. So, revision. I'm glad you watched this part. You should just jump 2 blocks high and the zombie will attack the villager. You should never move too far away from the villagers or they will despawn. Right? Okay, zombie villagers despawn. Villagers do not. Right, and some people say that zombies won't despawn if they have armor, but it's just iffy, and if you already have them in that position, you may as well take a name tab, put it on an anvil, and then just call it something like Bro Notification Squad, and then just label it on that zombie, just in case. Again, all you gotta do is just push to the zombie a little bit further away, throw that splash potion of weakness, give them golden apples, and that will sort it. Anyway, I'm gonna move to my first breeder and show you how to lock in good trades, so in the meantime, I'll just give them name tags so they don't despawn. And okay, let's go to our main station and let's grab some great stuff. Right, so there's a few things you want from trades. Profitable stuff, that's one, and 2, good enchants. For profitable stuff, I just recommend a few things. Getting a Fletcher to trade sticks into emeralds, that's always good. Getting any of the toolsmiths or weaponsmiths or armorsmiths to trade your iron into emeralds if you have an iron farm, that's super good as well. Or getting a librarian. Librarians are very profitable, I'll show you. So we'll put that there and let's see if we get a good book. No, okay, so we'll just break that again. And place that again and see if there's something good. No. Okay, but this bookshelf thing, well, that's really good. I'll show you in a bit. But first, let's get a good enchant. Okay, we have Unbreaking 3, which is not bad, actually. So what you'll want to do to lock in a trade is just trade with it once, and the villager will always keep that trade for you. So grab that book there. So now we have Unbreaking 3, and that's locked in. So let's just level him up. Okay, he's leveled up and he's got Silk Touch, which is another great enchant, but this is not the example I want to show you. So let me get to the other villager. We'll open this up. Now this table will forever be locked to this guy. So we don't need to close this off. That's fine. We can just leave this open, go to the next villager here, close this off first, grab another lectern and see what he gets. By the way, the reason why I think librarians are the best is, well, enchants. And you only have 6 slots here unless you make a bigger trading hall. There are more profitable trades out there, just search it up on Google. This is not the purpose of the video, just showing you examples. Okay, this is where things can get really profitable. You want a librarian with a bookshelf, possibly with a good enchant. But just for this example, we're just gonna lock in the bookshelves. We'll grab all those bookshelves like so. He's gonna level up. And hopefully he has a books to diamond trade. Yes, he does. Books to diamonds. So this is how we profit. I'm gonna buy all his bookshelves. You can trade 1 book for 1 emerald. So for every trade that you do, 1 emerald becomes 1 bookshelf, becomes 3 books, becomes 3 emeralds. So you actually triple your profit each time. So yeah, that's both working perfectly fine. My best villager breeder so far. I want to jump into Bedrock Edition real quick just to show you that I've tried it. Java players, maybe you're interested to know why there's such a rift between the 2 versions. You should have a look. You should have a look. I think it'll be interesting. Okay, so the breeding bit works flawlessly. In fact, as soon as I placed villagers there, they bred without food. Anybody know why? I have no idea. They just bred straight away. I didn't even give any food, so that part works fine. It makes me question whether you actually need a crop farm to actually give the food to the villagers, but That's how I did it anyway. And well, they are breeding fine. This rail system also works perfectly fine as well. I'll show you real quick, right? So let's just do an example real quick just to show you that everything works fine. This is the second slot, and I'm gonna go send a villager over onto that side. So we gotta jump to this side here, flick that button, it'll grab one of the villagers, and we're looking for that second slot. Yes, it went in straight away. That was fairly easy. Watch what happens when I place this profession table. So somebody acquired the profession, but not him. Not him. See, that's why it's really frustrating. I'll try again. Same results. Even though pathfinding should be blocked now, I've tried this a dozen times. There's no point doing it again. Just believe me, it does not work. So what I did next was I tried to actually send out the villager to a station far, far away. At first, I built one over here, a very good station with a minecart system all set up. Didn't work. 25 blocks away, didn't work. So I made this like 50, 80 blocks away, completely sealed it off, and I mean, look what happens here. He got the profession, right? Sort of got the profession. Let me just lock myself in. This room is sort of completely sealed, right? Let me break all of these first, and let's see if he loses the profession. No, he does not. Right, so final experiment. I made a new room over there. Okay, he's being sent over. This is creepy, actually. Now, watch what happens. I place a lectern there on this completely isolated room, by the way, and he does not grab the profession. I don't get it. You Bedrock pros out there, tell me, what am I doing wrong? I place another one, and he might grab this one. The only way he will grab it is once there's no other villagers to grab it. Now observe, if I just place more and more and more and more, okay, finally he grabbed it. So how do you isolate a villager so that you can assign him to a profession? It's really frustrating. Anyway, enough of my venting. Let me conclude whether this is worth building for Bedrock. Yes, it's still great. I mean, you get a villager breeder. You could use it for your iron golem farms or whatever farms you want to make, crop farms and so on and so forth. You can use it for your zombie curing station. That bit works perfectly fine. I just have no idea how to get the professions right on Bedrock. Alright guys, that concludes the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. Thumbs up if you liked it. Do consider turning on the bell notifications if you want to see more cool videos. As always, it's great to have you guys on the channel. MassBro signing out. I'll see you guys later.